Let us begin. Is this guy plugged in? It doesn't sound like it. There we go. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Da 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 da. Ba 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 da ba ba da ba. One day I'll work out how to actually stream a video game instead of just sharing a window in window. One day. One day. Not today, though. I can't be asked. I simply can't be asked. I'm going to get my tea before anyone joins me. I'm going to get my tea. It's tea time. Could you carry it onto the little square man?
The square man?
Square man.
This man?
Thank you, the square man. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe you decided to come inside? A little bit? Okay, I'm going to stream.
Okay.
I'm going to scream Valheim. Valheim! That's my live scream. Okay. Let's get back to building. Let's get back to building. I need to... Can I pop out the chat? I can pop out the chat. I'm going to put the chat up there. All right. Lovely little Liv. I love Liv. I love Liv. I'm looking forward to when I can get her cooler clothes. Brynja, my other character, she has some beautiful dresses. Some stunning, stunning haute couture. Maybe I should call it Hilda Couture? Hilda Couture. And she has different outfits for, you know, different occasions, which is what you want. Oh my gosh. That is gorgeous. The castle. I've just been playing Clan Folk where, like, you don't move around separate characters. You just, you know, like, move around the screen with an arrow. So I kind of get out of the character of the WASD. And then I have to get back into the swing of it. All right. Know what we start with? More stone. Because I want to finish the walls of this thing. Man, dude, Johnny boy, look at this. This is so cool. This is so cool. I might end up putting torches in these windows. That would be nice. There's so much friggin' I also want to I've got to fix my pickaxes. I want to kind of terraform some of this so that it's like a smooth gradient out there. Terraform.
That's
What?
That's what you do to planets.
It's what?
Isn't that when you change the atmosphere of a planet?
Terraform?
Yeah.
No, terraform is like changing the ground.
Okay.
I know, because in SimCity you would use terraform tools to change the ground. I'm pretty sure. Now I'm worried. Terraform definition. The process of deliberately modifying a planet's environment. Oh, atmosphere, temperature, topography.
So it could cover topography.
Yeah, it can cover topography. So
Usually I've heard it referred to as like world.
yeah. Okay, well, landscaping then. I've got to do landscaping. Got to scape this land right up. And I will get a little bit of stone for my efforts. just a little bit. Let's get this light down. It's more important for me to see my screen than it is for you to see me. I'm not what you're here for. You're here for the digging. Dig, dig, dig. Diggy, diggy, dig. I made a highlights reel of last week's stream. And it was very frustrating when I cut a lot out because if I wasn't saying anything interesting while I was also just digging rocks, that didn't stay in. But I did keep a lot of my building the castle because I do think that's interesting. Yeah, when I was first like figuring out the land here, there was like a limit to how much I could go down. I had to keep rescaping, like replanning the castle because I couldn't dig deep enough. I think because there's like a whole hill here. It was already there. It's a good thing I love digging. Yeah, it's like it'd be cool to have a castle on a hill, but I want a castle near the harbor. So some of these windows will just look out into rock. But that's fine. I like that. I actually like that. I actually prefer that. I don't care. I need to go inside when it's dark because it's not really much to see. It's not really interesting. It's not visually appealing. Because I have played in a game with a lot more technological advances, in my head, I know like certain bits of furniture that I'm really looking forward to using. But I also know that my partner unlocked a lot of that. And then I just built with it. This, oh my gosh, when you dream of like you've done a whole day's work and then you wake up and you still got to do all that shit. I hate that. Don't get so real with me, Valheim. We got this tea. It's called New York Breakfast. And it's really interesting. I like it. I like it. It's interesting. It's an interesting tea. It's got like cinnamon and stuff in it. I don't know. I don't know what the taste of New York is meant to be, but I like it. If I go to New York and it doesn't smell exactly like a cinnamon roll, I will feel very, very annoyed. I didn't equip my pickaxe, so I just went outside early in the morning and punched a rock wall. Just go outside in the morning and you see your Viking neighbor just punching a mountain. That's just, I'm getting my feelings out. That's a big rock. I like that. How did I miss that before? How did I miss you? Okay. More rock. There we go. I've seen some people's buildings on Valheim, pictures and stuff, and they're insane. Like, I'm not very, even with The Sims and stuff, I'm good at building like Regency era houses, Georgian houses, saltbox houses they're all just rectangular. They're all very symmetrical, all of that. I see people's really intricate designs and I don't know how you can think in that way. I don't. My brain doesn't think that way. So yeah, I build this because it's all symmetrical. It makes sense to me. Then I'll probably build a rectangular house in the middle. It will be symmetrical. It will be even. I don't understand anything else. it's also with Valheim, you can't just like delete a whole thing of walls. You have to literally take down each section of wall as you go. So if you make a mistake in your intricate design, have fun with that. What a beautiful day to dig rocks. Once I build the kind of the bare bones of my hall, then I will start going to different places. I have unlocked the swamp, and I've found some iron and stuff, which will help me get a handle on some building things. So in future streams, I might have to do some fighting. It's great doing passive stuff though, because I'll go into the crypts in the swamp, and I just walk right in, and I just bonk them and steal their shit, and they don't fight back. Well, they fight back once I bonk them, but like there'll be 3 enemies or something in a room, and I kill one of them, and the others are like, "Bye, Kevin," and then I kill the next guy, and the last guy's like, "Oh, see ya." They don't put up a fight. It's great. It's great. It's great because I'm scared of everything. Perfect way to play the game. When you're scared of everything, make sure nothing fights you. My partner is playing Kingdom Come Deliverance at the moment, and I like the look of it because it looks like Red Dead but medieval. But actually, like watching him play and listening to the gameplay, I'm like, I think it's too hard for me. I think I would get very stressed and very upset. Nope. Missed. Just missed. Come on. There we go. Gotta move my stone cutter. I wish these things had more range. Don't they understand the vastness of the castle I'm building? Don't you understand? Don't you understand the scope of my projects? Gonna run out of stone soon. Yeah, just in time. Okay. Dude, this is so cool. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Can I make it through the window? Yep, good. Let's get rid of that. Oh, will it go down? I might have to end up putting something there. Yeah. This is the area where I had issues, where it wouldn't go down any further. But yeah, I might just have to put something in that corner so that you can't see the clod. I don't want any clods in my house. We're a clod-free household. Maybe the charcoal kiln can go there because it's kind of big. It can cover a lot of things. It can hide a lot of things. Oh, there we go. Punch. You punch. Yeah, I feel like I'm getting a nice hill going. Just making hills. I will make all this pretty. Again, our motto here is you can ruin the environment, but you can't make it ugly. I was watching a video today about Katy Perry about how she's ruining her career, but there was also that little tidbit about how she's getting sued by some I think it's like, I can't remember which government it is, but she filmed a music video and didn't really get the proper permits, or went outside the realm of her permits and ruined the nesting grounds of some sea turtles or something. And then I was imagining her singing a Women's World song and singing to the sea turtles, "It's a woman's world and you're lucky to be living in it. You don't get to live in this world, sea turtles. You should be a woman instead. No world for you, sea turtles." Poor Katy Perry. It's that thing of like a chronic yes man syndrome where somebody just has not enough people making them think about themselves and their actions, and then it just bites them in the ass. And it's like, what were they what were they meant to do? Yeah, no one was encouraging self-awareness, and now we're surprised that they're not self-aware. She wouldn't make a good Viking. She's not Kris Kardashian. Kris Jenner, not Kris Kardashian. I think there are a lot of movie stars who wouldn't make it as Vikings, but they think they would. Like movie stars who are really buff and they think they'd make it in a world where you got to be like big and strong, but they wouldn't. Like my ex, he was not not a good person, but he was into martial arts and he was very like small and not small, but like very wiry. He didn't look buff. And we had a friend who was very buff. Like he was at the gym all the time, always eating protein. We would go out to dinner and he would still bring like a container of chicken and eggs to make sure that he had enough protein. But I called him useless buffness because I'm like, what is it for? What are you going to do with that? What are you going to do with those muscles? And my ex invited him to martial arts once and he just got absolutely creamed. And he realized, oh, it's not about how strong your muscles look. It's, whether they're actually useful. And so I think there are a lot of people who like, they look super strong, but their muscles wouldn't actually serve them very well because they're very aesthetic muscles. It's like before I was in a wheelchair, I think I would have gotten away with living in other eras, except that I'm very chronically ill, so I probably would have died. But I can sew very well. And so I'm like, I've got skills. I could be perfectly fine as either a wife or a spinster because I can sew. Okay, let's get some more food. See, look at this. This is looking good. I will eventually get the hoe and level this so it looks a little more smooth. Can't even walk up a hill. I'm so tired. Oh man. Okay. So the downside of like building in meadows is that the daffodil spawns will just keep popping up. So I'm going to get a supply of daffodils in my castle. That's fine. That's fine. How are my bees? Bees? Bees are happy. I like happy bees. There's one thing in life I love. It's happy bees. Oh, I haven't checked my chat. Nope, didn't need to. There's no one. I don't need to check the chat. There's no one there and there's no one watching. I'm just here by myself, and that's fine. I think I need to cook more food. Yeah, I think this will be the perfect place to have my vegetable fields after I get everything sorted. It's fairly flat already, and I can just make a very easy track from it to my castle. Okay, how many carrots? All right, I'll plant 10. No, just 6. Did I have any seeds yet? Okay. Carrot soup. All right. Deer stew, deer meat, and blueberries. I don't have any blueberries. Blueberries are in the Black Forest. Might build a little more and then I can go get some blueberries. Yeah, I'll use up my stone. And then I will build. Then I will get more blueberries. Doop, boop, doop, boop. There we go. Okay, up again. I could eat another bite. You're right, I could. Stamina. I need stamina. There we go. I love honey. It's such a good go-to food. And all I need are happy bees. All right, let's go get some blueberries. Here he is. Here's Nexon. Hi, Nexon. Hi, baby. Hi, honey. Oh, I'm going to build you such a nice little courtyard. You're going to love it. You better love it. Otherwise, you're going to be a necktail for my tummy. Okay, blueberry time. This is also a really good place to get stone. See these guys? They don't bother me. What you doing? What you doing? What you doing? Yeah, I can just bully skeletons. Oh, big boy. Gotta put troll on the map. Let's just nature watch this troll. What you doing, bud? Big furry troll ass. Yeah, having a sniff? Having a sniff? What you chomping? Having a little chomp, huh? Oh, it's a good sniff. Passive is great. I get to appreciate this thing more. Okay, I need more blueberries. I need to make deer stew. It is that thing where it's like when I don't need blueberries, I am crawling through them. But now where are the blueberries? Nowhere. Nowhere at all. Blubbles. There's so many rocks. So many big rocks. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Some good looking rocks out here. I feel cold. Well then. I love Haldor's little camp. I also like that you get a little glimpse of the locks. Okay. All right. Yeah, I need a lot of blueberries for that. Okay. For now, sleep time. This is Old Golden Brandy Snap Chocolate. Excellent. I need to put some of these things out of my pockets. No, I'll keep that. Put that in there. Keep that. Put that in there. Okay. I'll go get some of that stone, because then I can actually finish the walls here. Is that a rock? That's a rock. It's my rock now. I'm just going to clear this entire area of rocks. You know what? I'm going to build a little... Okay. Okay. Build that, because then I can load this sucker up with stone, and then I can just ferry it. Gotta make my chat bigger. Hello. Welcome. I'm getting more stone, believe it or not. I haven't played Valheim since last week. So yeah, coming back to it. Mm-hmm. I haven't actually... I've still got to put in my my voting thing. I do postal voting, so I don't know if that's what you're referring to, but yeah, I've got to do my postal voting and then send that off. Do we have results? I thought, like, postal votes haven't gone in yet, so I thought that it wouldn't. Oh, that's nice. I mean, yeah, like, Postal votes still have to be collected, but it sounds like that's not something they can come back from. Oh my gosh. Okay, that'll be a YouTube video. Liberals lost so hard that Dutton got ousted from his own seat by a disabled woman. That poetic justice. Let me hear it for poetic justice. I'm actually gonna look that up right now. Okay. Chat. Let's have a look at okay. I want to look at Peter Dutton. Look at that guy. "24 years he was in. That's crazy. That is crazy." Okay, I'm sorry. I was looking at another window and I was sharing my screen, but apparently it did not like that. Is it back yet? Okay, yeah. It didn't like me looking at Australian politics, I guess. Oh my gosh. That is nuts. That is nuts. I improved at pickaxes. What a surprise. Yeah, I think I might do a might even do a YouTube video looking at it because that sounds very interesting. Okay, Labour has 86 seats. Liberals have 39. That's, oh my gosh, yeah. Okay, so even once they count the postal votes, that is not gonna get back. They're not gonna be able to scrape that back. That's very funny. Oh boy. Like, as much as I don't like two-party politics, I'm all for independents getting involved. I do think that when it comes to the choices between our two parties, I'm Labour all the way. I also like some of the attitudes towards some of the other parties. Like, there've been people who've said the Greens want to legalize all drugs. That's so evil. And it's like, the Greens want to legalize all drugs. They don't want to sell them all. They just want to make it so that if people have issues with addiction, they can seek help without having the fear of being sent to prison. Like, they just want to make it so that people can get testing centers without also being afraid that people are going to call the cops because they're struggling with things. They want to basically not punish people for having illnesses. I see that as a good thing personally. They're not going to start selling all drugs. They just don't want to punish people for having illnesses. Blueberries. Is that a rock? If it is, I'm taking it home. Taking this whole rock home. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing when the politicians they think they're like, if you vote for me, I'll do this. And the other guys are going to do this terrible thing. I'm like, the other guys sound like they're on the right track there. They're going to make sure you all have access to weed. Oh, are they now? I've had a lot of fun looking at like candidates' signs in my area. And there's this one lady who has signs absolutely everywhere. Everywhere. And like I've passed her like little base in town, and you go into the entrance and there's 3 signs on that side, 3 signs on that side, and then you go in and there's about 4 signs on either side and then 3 signs down the back. Like, I don't know if her employees need or her volunteers need to remember who she is, or I don't know what's going on. And then in some streets she'll have 3 or 4 signs, one after the other. Like there's just so many signs. And I was saying to a support worker, I bet you she just drives around all day and she'll call up her volunteers and be like, I just drove down the street and there's no signs of me. Fix it. And my support worker said, I don't even know what she stands for or really what her policies are. But just the simple fact that she's putting signs up here to me means, number 1, she doesn't care about the environment, and number 2, she's obnoxious. I'm not voting for her simply because she's put so many signs here. So I'm not on the same page as her. I think she was trying to go for a thing where it's like, if an ad just, like if a company was just Smith's Electronics and they just had an ad saying Smith's Electronics, Smith's Electronics, Smith's Electronics, Smith's Electronics. Then when you went to the store, you saw Smith's Electronics. You don't know if they're good or not. All you know is, I know that name. I know that name more than the other names. I recognize that name. I'll buy Smith's Electronics. She was just trying to go off brand recognition, but she didn't realize it's really friggin' off-putting. Okay, got my pockets full of stones. Oh, more stones? More stones. More stones for my pockets. Ollie, I'm trying T2 New York breakfast. It's very nice. Yeah, Liberal posters made of plastic versus Labor made of cardboard, and it's like, you're sending a message here. One of my favorite things was yeah. It's like you are telling us your values right then. You are advertising more than you know. And like one of my favorite things was that there's an independent here, and like I actually met him, and he's like very nice. He's got quite a few ads on TV, and like he's just a very genuinely nice person. But he said, "Oh yeah, like I've got a lot of ads up, but it's, you know, it's less signage essentially." But people online were talking about him in the community groups, and they're like, the things they were saying against him was that he's one of those people who believes in climate change. That was like one of the things against him, was that he believes in climate change. And it's like, that's like saying he believes in water. It's like, okay, so you just sold me on him. Yeah, he's got a platform where he wants to lessen our carbon footprint and assist businesses in like having access to things that will lessen their carbon footprint. And people are like, he believes in that climate change nonsense. I'm like, you think you're turning me off this guy, and actually you just told me that he's more aligned with my principles than ever. He wants this planet to still be here for our children. I can't get behind that. What? It's very strange. Some very strange people. It's also when people don't know exactly how much they're telling you about themselves. And you're like, you don't realize that you just allowed me to read you like a book. You don't know what you just told me. It's nearly bedtime for Vikings. It's getting dark. And I'm running out of stone. So that it's bedtime for Vikings whenever I run out of stone, which is frequently. Thank you. You were telling a joke, Ollie. And I didn't see the joke. Nope. And just said, honestly, funniest joke I read all day was, and then nothing. And you were leaving me in suspense. I thought it must have been a really, really complicated joke that you're like writing a really long comment. I'm like, wow, this is gonna be something. It's sure gonna be something. Yeah, I don't have anything in my comments that is like where I have to review them first. So it shouldn't stop you from saying anything. It really shouldn't. Nah. Oh man. I think we've got censorship going on. Oh. Text it to me and I can read it out instead. Let's do some detective work to see exactly what was considered to be naughty. Okay, Big Orange is such a loser. He has lost elections in 2 other countries. So it was censoring his name? Good grief. Oh my gosh. Okay, so that's fun. Chat, just so you know. His name is censored. The annoying orange is censored. Wow. Wowza. Wowza. That's very interesting. Now I'm nervous to say his name. Because I'm pretty sure in my first live stream, I talked a lot about Big Orange. We talked a lot about his healthcare policies. I'm wondering if any of that got suppressed. Wow, that's crazy. That is crazy to me. What a world we're living in. Yeah, but I'm wondering if the video later got suppressed from other people finding it and watching it because I'd mentioned that, like algorithm wise. Very interesting. I remember like watching TV once and there was a I think it was for the Trumpet of Patriots or whatever. And they started off by saying there are only 2 genders. I'm like, "Oh, okay, well, you don't want my vote because I'm neither one of those genders." Okay, guys. Thanks for uninviting me to your party. All right. Okay, I get the message. And it was also like, there are only 2 genders. We don't want men in women's sports. And I was like, imagine if yeah, yeah, exactly. It's like arrest me and I'll be like, well, I don't I don't exist. But it was also like, imagine if some other party said, like, we don't want pedophiles in our schools, therefore you shouldn't support um religious studies. And it's like, I'm like, dude, I'm rocking across. Like I've got my beliefs and I love God and I believe everyone should have the opportunity to learn about religion and learn about faith. But there's also been probably more instances of child abuse in religious organizations than there have been instances of trans women attacking other women in bathrooms or sports. But it would be seen as really awful if people said, we don't want pedophiles in our schools or our organizations, so make sure that like we ban religion or something. Like it's a weird correlation to me. It's a weird way to focus on like such a weird minority and such a weird boogeyman to make. When it's like that, why are you so focused on something where it's like the trans population is quite small. The population of, honestly, sexual abuse in religious organizations is much larger than that. But if somebody generalized and said, therefore religious people are pedophiles, you would be incredibly offended. And I'm speaking as somebody who loves God and engages in religious worship. So it's like it's just a weird choice. It's a choice that lacks self-awareness. Why would somebody pretend to be a woman to assault people in a bathroom in a society where they're where offenders are treated better than women? That's the thing. It's like it's probably easier to get through life as an offender than it often is as a woman. It's also like you a trans person is more likely to get attacked in the bathroom that of the gender they don't identify as than a cisgendered person is likely to be attacked by a transgender person in their own bathroom. If a transgender person who is presenting as their gender goes into the other gender's bathroom, they are more likely to get harassment than you are as a cisgendered person by a transgender person. It's also like I remember like asking somebody, what's the concern? Oh, they're going to look at me or look at other people in the bathroom. And I said, okay, so it's the fact that they could be attracted to you and your family. Yes. All right. So should we ban lesbians from the women's bathroom? Should we ban bisexual people from both bathrooms? Because if it's about sexual attraction, then they could be checking you out as well. Like, where do we draw the line here? If you don't want somebody who could be possibly attracted to you being in your bathroom, then we need to ban any kind of gay person from the bathroom. And for me personally, as a non-binary person, I like the fact that that disabled bathrooms are inherently unisex, because then I don't need to make a choice. Yeah, it's like I think a big thing with the bathroom thing is like, yes, women's bathrooms have stalls. There's concerns about women's change rooms, which often don't have stalls. And like as a young person, I hated change rooms regardless of who was in them. When I was surrounded by women, like raised female, all that, assigned female at birth, when I like being surrounded by women and girls in change rooms, I hated that anyway. And so I think that's the concern. But it's like usually when people are in bathrooms, they're so focused on not wanting to be looked at that they're not looking at anybody else. My mother actually taught me how to get dressed entirely behind a towel so that I didn't have to show myself at all. Whereas I had like friends in school who would just be fine stripping down and getting changed, like after going to the beach or after doing sport, and I couldn't understand it. Yeah. But also, I remember doing some research that it was like a lot of like trans women are attracted to men. So if a trans woman, the kind of person that a lot of transphobes claim is actually a man and will be after your women, a lot of trans women are actually interested in men. Or they're bi, but often they're attracted to men. So they're not, if they're going to be looking at anybody, if they really wanted to be checking people out in a bathroom, they would continue using the men's bathroom and change room. Yeah, I think like I think everyone's very, very different. It's like how comfortable you are with getting changed around people is such a personal thing. And I remember my mother instilled, I guess, a lot of body shame in me when I was very young. Like, you do not show your body. Part of it was a religious thing, I think. And then I found pictures of her at like 16 wearing a bikini, which she never allowed me to wear. And I was like, what's going on here? But like, I would always wear a t-shirt when swimming. I would buy a bikini and then just wear it at home and like try it on and be like, I don't even know if I look cool or not. And my friends would all wear bikinis and I could not do it. And when I would wear certain things as a young teen, it did lead to certain things, like certain things happening, and I was like, this is weird. I would never defend predators. If people are actually doing shit, like, then it's reprehensible. I just don't like assuming that people are predators simply because of one particular trait. It is like I said, like, you don't assume that somebody's a predator simply because they're a religious person. If a religious person is a predator, then nothing will stop them from me thinking they're absolutely heinous. And a person being trans doesn't inherently make them a predator. If a trans person is a predator, it's because they're a predator, not because they're trans. If a person is going into any kind of bathroom for an ulterior motive, they're a predator. It's not usually because they're trans or because they've got any particular trait. It's because they're a predator. And people wouldn't go through all the other hell of being trans just to get into a bathroom. You can literally, like, if you wanted to get into a bathroom for ulterior motives, all you would have to do is be like, I'm going to look after a child and then take them into the other bathroom. It's like, there are ways of getting into the bathroom of the choice of person that you want to be a predator towards without changing your gender and then going through the kind of shit that society puts you through for being trans. Predators are predators. They're like, whether they're trans or not, that's not related to them being predators. Exactly, yeah. Yeah, it's like somebody being a predator is just, yeah, is not related to their gender or their sexuality or their religion or their culture or anything. It's like when people have said, I remember a friend of mine, she had a partner who was abusive, and somebody is like, oh, I think it's because he's Middle Eastern. And I was like, well, what about her Australian partner who was abusive? And she's like, oh, well, I think that was just him. I'm like, no, I think it's that they're both terrible, terrible men, and that both cultures can have a culture for abuse, and that many Middle Eastern men are not abusive, many Australian men are not abusive, and in both cultures there are people who allow that and people who like permit that. It's like, if somebody is a predator, it's not because of their culture, because of, it's not something inherently in that. It's because they themselves are a terrible person who are making terrible choices. And something I've noticed too is like there have been like some criminals who they've like committed crimes against women, and then in prison they claim that they're trans to try to get better treatment or to get into women's prisons or something. The second they actually experience the difficulties of being trans, they're like, actually I'm not. Actually I'm not. So it's like, actually trans people, they will go through a lot of shit because that's who they actually are. But people who are using it as a way to be predators, they will quit once it gets difficult because it's not really them. No, I'm not saying that they treat them the same. I'm saying that somebody from a Middle Eastern culture isn't automatically a predator. There might be more allowances for it, but it's kind of like how like in certain religious cultures, child abuse is more allowed. It's more permissible. It's more ingrained in the culture. But somebody being from that culture, it doesn't automatically, you can't meet somebody from that culture and be like, oh, I hear you come from that place. So you're a child predator. So you're a wife beater. It doesn't automatically correlate. And somebody being trans, you can't meet a trans person and be like, oh, so you're a predator. It's not that. It's like, I know that I would get like certain cultures where I'm disabled. Certain cultures would treat me worse, but I wouldn't meet somebody from those cultures and be like, oh, you're ableist because you're from that culture. I might understand it more if like somebody from that culture said certain things and be like, okay, yeah, I understand it. But with being trans, somebody who is trans, that doesn't mean they're a predator. Yeah, I get probability, but somebody's gender doesn't mean culture is different to gender. Cultural norms will teach you how to treat people. So culture affects how you treat other people. Religion affects how you treat other people. When it comes to being trans, that's not necessarily somebody who is trans. They're not going to put themselves through abuse from society to then abuse a member of society. It is easier to abuse other members of society when you maintain authority. If somebody wanted to abuse women, they would retain the authority of being a man rather than reduce themselves to an abused minority to then try to abuse women. If a trans person, if a man wanted to abuse women, he wouldn't pretend to be trans to abuse women because that puts him into a place of a lack of authority, because people abuse trans people. If he wanted to abuse women, he would retain his authority in white Western culture. So yeah, it's being trans doesn't make somebody a predator. Yeah, it's not how that works. If a trans person is a predator, they were a predator without being trans. They would have been a predator without ever being trans. It's like when you find out that a priest is a child predator, he would have been a predator if he'd never found religion. He's using his religion to be a predator. He would have been a predator without that. Like that's a thing he's doing. It didn't turn him into a predator. He's just using the experiences that he has to allow him to do his or her weird shit. Yeah, that's Morley. Morley sneezing in the background. My father has the biggest sneezes I've ever heard in my life. They sound like a foghorn. You could hear them, like, we used to live on a big communal property, and like you could hear him sneezing for like hundreds of meters away. It was wild. To the point where like people who hadn't like walked around the property and seen that my dad was around yet, they'd hear him sneeze and just know that he was there. I'm not saying that either of those are inherently. Maybe you weren't here for earlier in the conversation. I was actually giving Christianity as an example of here in Australia currently, where people are using certain things as an excuse of like why you should or should not vote for people. And I was using it as like, because Christianity is one of the most common religions here, Islam is not. So I was using that as an example of like people giving, like basically saying trans people are predators, so you shouldn't allow them to be in sports. Whereas that's such a small minority. Like trans people trying to be in sports is a small minority. Whereas we've had massive cases here in Australia of Christian organizations hiding predators. We haven't had huge cases of Islamic situations with like female, like wife abuse and stuff like that here in Australia. I was talking about the Australian elections that just happened yesterday. I think both of them allow for a lot of abuse. Culturally, they allow for a lot of abuse. I was talking about the Australian elections and why one of them weirdly didn't come up as much. Some of them where they're pandering to like conservative communities and conservative Christians, and yet they're not bringing up the issues in those communities and acting like they just don't exist. And I just find that concerning. So yeah, it's not funny that I gave it as an example when it's literally the most common thing here in the country that I live, and it was literally the subject of a royal commission. And I think it's like a lot of things, it's frustrating because it's kind of like how the internet can be like, even just streaming comments like what we're doing right now. It can have an inherently awful culture, but it's like it is how it's used. People can use it, people can abuse it. Not everyone who uses this is going to be horrible. Not everyone who works on the internet is going to be horrible. Not everyone who comments on the internet is going to be horrible. But for some people, there's like a facelessness to the internet that they appreciate and that they use to their advantage. A lot of people, like people who, like the Paul brothers, where they use the fact that they've got a huge childhood audience, they use that to their advantage instead of using it responsibly. That doesn't mean that everyone with a child audience is going to abuse it and take advantage of it, but it does mean that it's very easy to do that. And I think that's more my point. It's not that, like, everyone who is in a particular community, is a monster or is abusive. It's that certain communities allow people to behave like that easily. Where's that go? Can I do that right in the middle? There we go. There we go. Classic castle crenellations. Okay. I love how they're they don't walk up steps, they just like bounce up. Bouncy little Viking. See if I can get up here. Yes. I'm terrible at jumping in games. I don't manage it well. So I get very excited when I manage to jump in games. Yeah, especially when, like, in this game, their legs are kind of stiff. Okay. This is frustrating. Can I do this guy? That's going to have to do. Eventually I might get something more decorative, but that's what it is for now. Okay. Okay. This is this is so massive. The fact that I've built this before in another game and I'm doing it again. Doing it all over again. And I don't even know how I managed to stay sane to do it in the last one. Okay. Get the stone cutter in here. I have one last piece of chocolate. Okay. Okay, is that right? Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Nope, nope, nope. It's also that, like, I play clan folk where it's very simple building designs. So it's like I need to get my building fix somewhere. Oh boy. Okay. Gotta break into my own house. Yep. I'm so clumsy. I'm such a clumsy guy. Come on. Okay. All right. Okay. I think it goes there. Then it goes, okay. There we go. It's the thing, placing crenellations individually, just as my forefathers did. Oh, but it looks cool. It's worth it. It's just a pain in the Viking ass. Okay. I'm going with stone. Still got a bit. I watched a video about Gal Gadot. Gal Gadot? Galgan Gorgonzola. And she it was like it kept saying her line from the Wonder Woman movie of like, give me the stone. And I can't get it out of my head now that I'm like using so much stone. Come on. Give me the stone. Okay. Yeah, I don't know where Stanislav is now. It was fun chatting with you if you're still here. I like discussing things. Yeah. I talk a lot to people that I disagree with, or where I think I don't know where somebody came to their particular idea from. Yeah, okay. I also think it's like I'm not a great streamer because I don't get into really vicious fights. I'm very measured in how I speak to people, and that is sometimes not what people are after. I like it though. Yeah. I would like to hope that that I gave him something to think about, but that could be a little too hopeful. It's also just my therapist called it the party in your pants method. So from Anchorman, where it's like they're beating around the bush trying to flirt with this woman, and then she finally just says, "Are you trying to tell me that there's a party in your pants and that I'm invited?" And my therapist said basically, if you're talking to somebody and they're just trying to like talk around their point or talk around your point, you basically just stop and say exactly what you want to say. That's okay, Anne. Yeah, you stop and say exactly what you want to say. Try to get to exactly what they're wanting to say and be like, okay, let's just round this up. Do you believe this very, very direct fact? Let's try to get on the one track. Yeah. And I think I don't know if Stanislav was expecting me to get angry when he claimed that I was a woman defending predators, which like firstly not a woman, sorry guy, but also just like I will never defend predators. I just don't believe in stating that somebody's a predator because of one particular attribute about them. I believe in like there are certain probabilities in finding out that somebody's a predator. It's more that it's less if they're from this country or if they're from this religion that they're a predator. It could be if they're from this country or religion, they could express certain behaviors. But yeah, it's just I'm a very open-minded person, so it was an interesting talk. And it's interesting because last week playing Valheim, there was like 11 people watching or something. So I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to get into this time. I don't know if that kind of conversation will happen more if I stream more and play popular games and more people want to chat. Who knows? Yeah, the castle is coming along well, Anne. Carrying too many stone. This is how the castle is, Anne. Nope, it's not the right one. I don't like conflict. I don't like arguments. And the thing is, like, I was talking last week about how sometimes I struggle with the idea of even just leaving my house because so many of the conversations I have are stressful. And it's even just simple things of like having to politely inform someone that I exist because due to my disability, they've forgotten something that I need, and I have to like have them go out of their way to provide for my needs. And it's just, I'd rather just curl up in a ball and be unnoticeable. But yeah, it is that thing of like situations like that where I'm like, I don't know what that person wanted from me. I don't know if they actually believed those things or if yeah, I don't know. I just don't know. I don't understand people sometimes. It's also like I used to have issues, like basically intense delusions when Trump first got into power, and I would like tell my therapist, well, if I had a conversation with him, maybe I would be able to explain things to him. My therapist was like, no, he can't have anything explained to him. He does not want to understand. Let's see if Nexon is here. There he is. Hi, Nexon. Still got to design a little courtyard garden here once everything else gets set up. But yeah, like I kept thinking if I can just talk to somebody reasonably, then maybe they'll understand. And I can understand sometimes that I don't have the same views as other people, and that there are a lot of things with nuance, and that you can come to things from different sides and different understandings. But there are some things where I'm like, surely you don't think that somebody is a certain thing because of attribute A, B, or C. Like that. Surely you can't think that, because then you live in a world where you decide what somebody is before you ever get to know them, and I don't understand how that is a world that can make sense, or that is a world you can be kind in. I don't know if I'm naive. I don't know. It is that thing of like, I've just got to listen to the people who I know and trust, because sometimes the voices of people I don't know are very loud. People I don't know their background. I don't know where they're coming from. I don't know what conversations they had before they came to me. That's very loud to me. And I have to stop and think that's not the voice that I need to make loud to me. Why does that look so janky? Yeah, and you missed a discussion. Somebody was here in the chat talking about things. I was essentially saying that I don't think trans people are bad. I don't think that trans people are predators. I don't think that there's anything wrong with having trans people use the bathrooms that they think they should use. And yeah, somebody was disagreeing with me, and I don't know that I cope very well with that kind of thing. I know a lot of people in our community and would agree with this person too, which is something that hurts me. Yeah, I don't think he has any place in Australian politics or any politics. He's harmful. And Ollie let me know that Peter Dutton was replaced by a person with a disability in his seat, which is very cool. Somebody who will understand a lot of people. Stone. The world is hard. I remember I was looking up jobs and stuff for like socially anxious people and introverts. Someone was like, streaming, and I'm like, it's like, no, do not do that if you're socially anxious, unless you have like a closed stream and you're not interacting with people, because it'll get weird. You don't know who you're going to talk to. You don't know what'll happen. Oh, honey, baby pie. Sweet summer child. I could eat another bite. You're right. I'll eat multiple bites. So I don't mind performing music because it's like then I'm just gonna sing my songs, and it seems like I'm socializing, but I'm not. I'm just out there singing words that I've already rehearsed. Yeah. Oh yeah. And like I yeah, like that's the thing. It's not about having an echo chamber. It's basically I remember reading a saying once and it said, if you wouldn't ask for their advice, then don't listen to their criticism. And again, not about having an echo chamber, not about having a pile of yes men, but basically do you respect their opinion? Do you respect their background? Do you believe they know enough about you and your experiences and your life to provide adequate advice on what you're going through? If not, they don't really. It's like somebody, like this singing adjudicator telling me to work on core strength, and I'm like, if you knew me, you would know my illnesses and the fact that being in a wheelchair really limits the amount of core strength. So I'm not going to take on that advice because I can't, I can't. You don't know me enough to give me that advice. And it's and I have a lot of altercations with strangers because I have to ask for access and I have to explain my needs and all of these. It comes up a lot and I hate it because it's again that thing of like I'd really like to just go somewhere and blend in and be just like everybody else and be absolutely invisible. But I can't. I'm always having to make a fuss about something. And I just hate it. And then I go online and I'm playing a cozy game and sure, like I started talking about stuff, but it's like person taking issue with something that I didn't think I said anything controversial. I think that's the thing too, where it's like last week when I was saying that the singing judge judged my songwriting, but didn't say anything about my singing, and I'm like, I was not I was not expecting that. It's I'm I was not expecting. Yeah, I think that's the thing that gets me sometimes. I'm expecting a certain level of criticism, but not that. I did see your garden photos, Anne. They're beautiful. They probably are gardening games. Alrighty. Chomp away. I'm going to continue building my crenellations. More stone. This is getting ridiculous. All right, let's fix this one pickaxe. Go get some more stone, and then I should be done with crenellations. And at some point, I can start working on the Great Hall. It's going to be a great hall. I also sometimes wonder, like, what view people have of conversations afterwards. Like, does somebody come away from it still thinking I was unreasonable or they were unreasonable? Or do they just forget about it while I'm going to think about it all the time? Like, is their anxiety going to force them to sit there rethinking it in fear? Sorry, Skelly boys. I'm going to take this rock. I think it's clan folk that has like, when you mine, it's like ding, 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 which reminds me of Maggie, because whenever she asks me anything, it's like in threes, always in threes. And I don't know how she learned to do that. She'll knock on a door and it's always in threes. And I do not know how. I do not know how. It's a very human thing. She's just a little guy. You know what? And I'm now going through that, like, I should have said this thing. That whole conversation, it comes down to correlation does not equal causation. It's like, oh, there's been a bunch of builders who come out of that town. That doesn't mean that just because somebody lives in that town, they're going to be a builder. It's like probability is one thing, but again, correlation does not equal causation. You have a new baby, Anne. How many is that now? And I'm not sure if I'm going to come to KYB tomorrow, because I've got the funeral on the Tuesday, our gaming group on the Thursday, and then I've got an appointment on gaming group on the Wednesday, and then appointment on the Thursday. So I'm thinking if I come on the Monday, I might be a little bit too worn out. But you will see me on the Tuesday. I'll try to get there a little bit earlier so that I can make sure I'm set up and all of that. I'll have a look at the picture, and I'm sure she probably does look like your mum. Your mum always kind of looked like a baby doll. She had a little sweet baby face. At least I think so, anyway. All right. Okay. Let us hope. Actually, while I'm waiting to have cool doors available to me, I'll just do a bit of this for now. Yeah. So it's a game of how far away can I get from my crafting station if I'm feeling too lazy to rebuild my crafting station. Yeah, okay. That's a limit. Let's get some crenellations. Oh, but that won't make the crenellations even. I wish I had these but upside down. That would be cool. More mushrooms. Oh boy. Okay, yeah. I'm just clumsy. Just so clumsy. Okay, there we go. Okay. I hope everyone will appreciate the song. And yeah, I will need to make sure people know that it was for somebody else, because it's complicated to sing a song that was written for one person for another person. Like if I was famous, then people might be just playing the song on a CD or something, but because it's just me playing it, I need to make sure. Ew. Okay. Okay. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Yeah, I'm going to bring my little speaker so that I'm all self-contained, so that I can do everything and be all set up myself. And Jenny got very confused because you told her that I was singing a song called Into the Woods, and she's looking everywhere for Into the Woods, but it's actually Through the Woods. And there was a musical called Into the Woods, and she's like, I don't think it's the song from the musical. It's like, no. And so they had to make sure that it wasn't done wrong on the on the programs. If you're feeling well enough, it'd still be good to go to KYB, because it might make you feel a little better. But yeah, you do whatever you feel up to. Okay, crenellations are done. They're donezo. Let's just put this guy there. I just won't be going to KYB because my fatigue isn't very good. Okay. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of that. Oh boy, oh boy. That's right. That first. Okay. Then that. That. All right. Do I have enough for a little iron? I need a forge. Okay. I'm going to have a little Viking sleep. And then I'm going to move my forge out here so I can build some iron doors. Little Viking sleep. Just a little Viking sleep. Little Viking nap. Massive bear flesh. There we go again. Good old massive bear flesh. Okay. Nope. Okay. That's it. I have too many things in my pockets. In my little Viking pockets. Okay. Oh boy. Nearly caught on fire. Okay. Do I have enough? Need more iron. I think I have just enough for 2 gates, which is nice. There we go. Yay. All right, I'm going to get some resin so I can build some torches. Do I have... I need more iron so that I can make some proper torches. Look, sconce. Ooh, sconce could be good. How much copper do I have? I have a fair amount of copper. The diva is beginning. Yes. Oh, wait. Is that the right way? Nope. Maggie, can you wait, please? Should I put it? No, that'll get in the way when it opens. That'll be fine. Yes. All right. Want some banners. No, Maggie. Okay. Leather scraps. Gotta check my leather scraps supplies. And I find wood. Okay, 4 fine wood and 8 dandelion.
Go.
Hey, Molly.
Got
Do you wanna-
dark. How you going?
I'm going to show you. Come and see.
Oh, wow. Crikey.
Yeah. Coal. I need coal. Coal. How good does it look?
That looks great. You hanging your banners?
Yeah. Oh, they kind of stick out though.
Yeah, you kind of got to build like a piece of wood there and then hang it off the wood.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I'm going to turn on the heater for a bit. It's a little cold.
Yeah. Not quite centered, and it has to be centered. Oh my gosh. That looks so good. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay. Move the forge back inside. I'm not sure, Anne. I'll have to see. how he's feeling. Because he'll be having the games day on the Wednesday and then tape on the Thursday. So got to see how he's going that week. What was that? Oh, man. This is good.
Has Maggie had a dinner?
Nope. I've been here.
All right. I will feed.
You will feed.
I will breastfeed the dog.
Okay, I need a hearth. Where's my iron? Oh, I used up my iron on this thing, but I need just one. I need just one. I don't think I have any iron left. No, I do not. Okay. Well, I think we're going to call it a day. These are portals. So I guess they're like stargates. I might call it a day because the next time I play, I'm going to have to go and get some more iron from the swamp so that I can build some more stone cutters and wait, is it iron? Yes. Yes. Okay. I can do. Yes. So next time we can start working on the Great Hall, which would be great. Because what I want to do is I'll build that 2 stories, so I'll be able to see over the top of the castle walls, which will be cool. Yeah, sorry, Anne. I've been streaming for about an hour and a half before you jumped on, and I'm getting a little tired. So but thank you so much for watching. Ollie, thank you for having my back in that weird interaction. I guess that's just part of the game. But yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, we'll call that a day. All right. Thank you. I need to stop sharing that business. Yeah. Thank you so much. I will see you next week. All right. Much love.